Hey Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, the crew of the Honor escaped their holding cell and made their way through Captain Ivana's ship to a comms room to send an SOS out to the Outlaws. Where we left off, the three of you were in a very small, power tunnel, and you heard, ferocious noises as two Interstellar Council radar technicians crashed into the tunnel with you, with black leaking from their mouths and eyes and ears. Meanwhile, in the cognitive realm, Sully had just been buried by tentacles that were spewing from the torn open eye of the Watcher. Who wants to go first? Who's got the first move?
So Sully was hit pretty hard last time, so I think he's going to try to pull someone in with him again.
Okay.
I think he's going to try for Vi this time.
All right.
That'll be a 6.
Dad, go!
Oh my gosh, Zach.
So nothing changes. You can feel breath that you don't need pushing from your lungs as your mind begins to fuzz out, and you go to some place that is neither the cognitive realm nor the real world. Instead, you start fuzzing back to that faintly purple place where you walked before. You can see the trail forming up around you again as you take 3 more damage. You're doing very bad. In the real world, you can see blood starting to leak from Sully's ears and nose.
Oof.
And I'm guessing Vi tried to get pulled in, right? Does she have a...
Oh, you just kind of feel a headache.
Oh, just headache, okay.
Yeah. It's nothing super specific. You don't take a ton of damage.
Do we all notice this with Sully? That he's bleeding?
If you look at Sully, you notice, but you're also getting attacked right now, so it's up to you.
Jyla's gonna try... Is there somebody, within, particle axe range? If she stretched out her arm and her particle axe, would she hit somebody? Like an enemy?
Do you want to try to attack an enemy?
Yes.
Okay, then just roll blast some baddies.
Okay.
There aren't, range bands, you know?
No, I just didn't know spatially, if they were... How on top of us they were.
They're close. Yeah.
So that is an 8. What she wants to do is, since we're in such close quarters, she wants to stick out her arm and turn it on so it stabs them and turn it off.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You do that, and from the wound that forms up from materializing and dematerializing the blade, instead of blood pouring out of that, it's just black goo does as this thing crashes into you, and it doesn't stab you or shoot you. It's just flailing and screaming as this creature that was once Interstellar Council is on top of you in this very confined space, just spraying black goo everywhere and pummeling at you for 2 damage. You are very hurt. You are not doing well.
I am, yeah. Me and Sully are on death's door.
So Vi does not notice what's happening with Sully because she is shooting at them. Gosh, I am on fire tonight.
At least somebody is.
That's another 15.
Dang.
Cool. So the figure on top of Jyla, just falls apart. It doesn't, die. It just disintegrates as, instead of a body being, laying limp on you, it just dissolves into, black slime that starts to evaporate very quickly. There's still one more rushing at all of you.
Mal is going to take a shot at that one. Snake Eyes. No. I mean, it's technically a 5, but...
All right. All right. So this thing just smashes into you. Same thing from its open mouth and eyes, just slopping black goo into your face as it screams and tears at you, delivering 2 damage. Do you soak one of that, though?
I do.
Okay.
With your leather coat, right?
Yeah, my leather duster.
Can I just drop out of the cognitive realm?
You can. Yep.
I'm going to do that. Do I need a roll for that, or is that just something I can do?
No, that's something you can just do.
No, you just need a really, badass line. I'll see you in real life.
Not certain that qualifies, but all right.
It's canon. Can't take it back.
Sully didn't say it. It was me. He still has time to come up with a good one.
See you in space, real life. Spiel.
Somebody's gonna choke on her coffee.
Yeah, I'll drop out of the cognitive realm, though.
All right, you drop out of the cognitive realm, back into a very tight corridor. You are not feeling good. You feel like you have been hit by a truck. Meanwhile, you can see a crazed Interstellar Council radar technician flailing at Captain Malcolm Llewellyn.
Can I grab him and try to infuse him with harmony?
You can, yeah. Roll plus weird.
Well, that's a 7.
Hey, that's better.
An 8. It's an 8. It's actually an 8. Yeah.
All right.
Doing great now.
Oh, with an 8, you grab the person's arm, and it's like boiling. The like chaos ichor that just bubbles out of them and begins to evaporate in the air as the ferocious snarls turn to screams, and then the person slumps over unconscious.
Well, giant eyeball thing kind of threw me around a little bit, but I think we should probably get moving again.
Oh, geez, yeah, you don't look so good. Do you need help?
I think that's getting to our med bay would help.
I'll second that motion.
Oh gosh, yeah, Jyla too. Okay, yeah, let's pick up the pace here a little bit. Well, I guess as much as we can and try to get to our ship.
Let's double time it while two of us are in the dying range.
We'll just drag you.
Yeah, actively bleeding. Not good. All right. So you start crawling your ways back through these tunnels. It's going to be a long, long way to go. At some point, too, you eventually hear an explosion again and more screams. Is there anything that you want to do? Any, like, establishing stuff you want to do as you're crawling your way through the tunnel?
I kind of let them know about the fight with the Watcher.
Okay.
But I don't feel like we need to recap that since it was just what we literally just did.
Okay, everybody make me an act under pressure roll. And I will say, because this has kind of been a thing, Vika, this is going to be act under pressure for you as well, because this is not technology related.
Okay.
10 for Sully.
12, Jyla.
9.
Finally got a bad one. 7.
Okay. As you're making your way through these tunnels, you're like breathing really hard, you're sweating, it's very uncomfortable, it's a long way to go. And then you hear a faint, like, humming noise behind you, like, as you, Mandy, please dub in something better than me going,
I like how he said you hear a humming noise and then went, neither of those sounds were humming.
The humming noise gets louder. You look behind you as you see a floating, like, red-eyed robot, very small, zooming around the tunnels, and you can see kind of like a band that it's sweeping, looking for you. Fortunately, you're all able to kind of, like, hide around corners and stuff to keep yourself from being seen by this little thing as it zooms around.
So it's literally like the spy movie where it shows, like, you can see all the different areas that the cameras are looking at, and we can see that in real life.
Of course, yeah. And it's red, and it's like it's like a line that matches, like, the curvatures of things as it spins around, Obviously, that's how it works.
It would be really funny, like a really cool bad guy move to do that, except the range is way farther than the red line, so people just, like, sit outside the range thinking they're safe.
That's actually fun. But anyways, that is not what is happening. What is happening is you guys are able to avoid it. I'm not that mean. But when you get to, like, where you can see access points coming up to the hangar, this would be a much more almost open area underneath the floor of the hangar where there's tons of power points everywhere. You can see tons of these little things all circling around your ship as if they know, 1, you might want to get back to your ship, and 2, that you are now in these tunnels. They've put that together.
So we are in the spot, we can see our ship?
You can see where above you your ship would be. But to get to that area, there are a few of these robots kind of patrolling.
Okay. And we're, like, in an access tunnel below it.
They're patrolling the access tunnel with you.
Right, yeah, but we're in the access tunnel below.
You are not you cannot immediately see your ship. You're under the floor. Yeah.
Okay. Vi, do you have any, I don't know, secret communing abilities with these little robots?
I can't say that I do, but I don't know. Maybe if we can find some kind of access panel, I can try to not hotwire into them, but try to take control. I don't know. I'd have to get a hold of something where I could try and tap into whatever's giving them orders.
That is tryable. It will just be a roll. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing that an access panel like that, we would have to get out of where we are now.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Because like all the power and communication goes up to the panels, so you'd be able to get to like the underside of it. I would say if there isn't like a control panel for specifically these robots that's like labeled control panel for these robots.
Yeah, I didn't think
because they're attached to the Watcher. But I would say that the way wireless communication generally works is it exists in a certain frequency band, and if you interrupt that frequency band, you can mess with it.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to like broadcast enough noise at a certain band to probably get these things to shut off if you wanted to try that,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I just didn't know if we were going to have to...
I don't think you need to surface for that.
Surface, yeah,
no,
okay.
You can try to jerry-rig something underneath.
Cool. I'm going to do that. That's a 9.
Okay, so with a 9, they all turn off and collapse to the ground. You're able to, like, find a panel that just, like, releases tons of noise. It's like an EMP, basically, as all of these robots at once collapse and fall to the ground. What now?
So, don't we still have to take down this Watcher thing? Like, that's the way to get Captain Ivana to not release the map, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think you can take us all into the cognitive realm to do that? Or do we need to... there's got to be a physical version of him, right?
I think it's worth one of us going into the cognitive realm with me, and the other two try to take the physical version out. However, before that, I think me and Jyla need to visit the med bay.
Okay. Well, okay. Yes. Real quick before we try and get on the ship, you were fighting the Watcher, but we didn't see a physical representation of him, right? So, how do we fight him if we don't know where he is?
I mean, he's that hideous monster thing. I'm sure he wants to come to us. Additionally, we do have a teleporter where we could just teleport him right outside our ship. And
I don't think we want to bring him closer. Maybe if these little fellas are like extra eyes, can we use them to, instead of them taking input from him, can we input things into them to send back to him? Does that make sense? Can we send a virus sort of thing back towards him, or electric shock or something?
I could probably make that work. Let's get you two into the med bay. I'll try and figure out in my head how to make that work, and then we'll try and take him down.
I mean, the other option we have is we could all go into the cognitive realm and try to kill him there. But
I do not do very well in the cognitive realm, so the more real world things I can do, the better.
I'm just not sure that we're going to be able to take him out from a distance like Jyla would like.
Well, how about if I and Mal work on the physical, and I can sure try to come with you into the cognitive realm once we get a little healed up.
So, just so you know, GM notes on what you've discussed. The thing that Jyla and Vika were talking about, totally possible, won't one-shot it, will have an effect, just based on the roll.
Yeah, I'm just worried, I don't think, as Cody said, it's not going to one-shot it. I don't think we're going to be able to take care of this thing without getting it closer to us in some fashion.
Oh, I kind of assumed that was a calling card type of situation. So, I guess in my head, if we do that and we can call the physical part of him to, closer, as long as he's not on or directly by the ship, we can take him down in the real world while you're doing that in the cognitive realm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm good with whatever we want to do. I'm fine with trying that.
Okay.
We can hit him from both sides.
Yes. Yeah, imagine I said all that in Vika's voice, but anyway.
At a certain point, it just gets tiresome trying to plan in character voices. There, I said it.
Well, and especially when you got to clarify what you're talking about. But
real quick, Zach, you take that back right now. That is what I live for. I live for planning in character, and I feel personally attacked by the statement that you just made because of how frequently I try to encourage all of you to plan in character, like nudge you gingerly to plan in character. I feel attacked, so I just need you to know that how I feel right now is attacked and unloved and unsafe in this place because you've said that horrible, horrible, horrible thing that you should take back right now and apologize for on paper. I need it in writing.
Cody, did you tell us that in your character voice?
This is my character voice because I'm the GM, Caitlin. All right. Now, look, if Lucy was here, Lucy would have said all of that. But Lucy isn't here because you haven't rescued Lucy because you let Lucy get almost killed and then captured.
To be fair, you put him into that position. And secondly, you want to know who else feels attacked right now? Sully. Sully feels attacked.
Anyway, we're going to go to the cognitive realm.
Yeah,
is it because I attacked Sully?
We get into the med bay, please.
Yes, we're going to the med bay.
Let's do that.
Okay, real quick. Wait, let's okay, where we're at. All of you are underneath the floor in the cargo bay.
Yes.
What do you do?
We find an access hatch and gingerly peer out of it.
Okay, so you
above us.
Caitlin being cautious.
You delicately lift up a little thing in the floor and look around. You could maybe, like, as you're panning your eyes around, catch a glimpse of the Honor and the other ship that is attached to it. So you kind of know about where that is. Like, it's going to be a walk to get there. It's not, like, immediately up underneath into it. And as you're looking around, you could maybe see some feet, a few other people. Anything else you want to check on in the room beforehand? Anything else you want to do before you go up into that space? Like, anything else you want to know, you have to roll for, right?
Okay. It looks like there's some people up here. I don't know if you want me to do another smoke bomb. That's always an option.
That seems like a smart idea.
Yeah, if we want to try and get on the ship without just firing everywhere, I think that's probably a good idea.
Anybody else want to investigate?
Yeah, I'll do a quick investigation. I want to see if there's a path that we can take from the access hatch to the Honor that has enough, like, hiding spots. Like, are there crates that we can, like, you know, scuttle behind?
Okay.
9.
And you're looking for a method of getting to your ship that would avoid being seen because you could, like, duck behind crates and stuff, correct?
Correct.
There is cover on the way there, but, like, it's cover in 2 dimensions, not in 3. Which is to say, if you were standing flat and looked across, there is cover breaking up that you could, like, kind of try to skirt between to avoid some patrols and stuff that might be walking around this area.
Yes.
But if anything was looking up and down, there is no cover. Does that make sense?
It does.
So we have to get to the cover.
What? No, like, if there's cameras up top, they are going to be able to see us.
Oh, regardless of cover.
But
Jyla just got it. If there are cameras looking at this room.
I mean, wouldn't the smoke bomb do that?
That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Is I think
Okay, now let's explore that for a minute. Imagine you are a supernatural, brilliant being whose sole purpose right now is to find the only thing in the galaxy that it considers to be a threat. And so far, the MO of what people are doing is coming up from access hatches into surveilled rooms and releasing smoke bombs.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there power? These power lines run through the entire room, right? So we could get anywhere in the room, basically, if there's a vent there, right?
If there is something that needs power, you could, yes.
And there's presumably power near our ship, because you'd need power in a landing bay, right?
There is power near your ship. There is not power... you are near your ship right now. You'll have to walk across open ground to get there.
Well, could we get closer and, like, guesstimate and then cut a hole through with our particle weapons?
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna again try to understand the scenario. And I don't want to tell you guys no, I just also don't want to mislead you. Okay. So, not going to be coy. This room has surveillance on it. There are things looking down at the room for this reason. There are also people walking around. And what you are talking about is hacking the floor apart with big swords to make a hole in the floor so you can get closer to your ship that you're already pretty close to, in the hopes that no one will be looking at that area of the floor when you hack at it with swords.
Can I find the power cable for all the cameras and cut that with my sword?
Yes.
I want to do that.
Okay.
Can we? Hey, if this watcher, as you said, as somebody said in my head, that can see everything and is hellbent on finding something going wrong, we're in a hub. Can we maybe cut access to some random room so that attention is diverted, and then do what we're going to do here so that maybe there's a delay?
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I like that idea.
So I don't know if that'd be like a status tag of like distracted. I think that's what I would be trying to do.
Well, not ship combat, so no.
Oh yeah, right.
But it's an act under pressure role that you could try to do to create distractions in other parts of the ship to hide the fact that you're cutting, not unlike stabbing out somebody's eye when you cut all the cameras to a room, you know.
Right. That's a 5.
This does not make any sense to you at all. Like, the difference between a power and a data cable, where they're going, you have no sense of this. It's very confusing and hard for you to understand what is happening.
Can I jump in and when I see that she's having trouble and try to do it?
You definitely can, yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea that Jyla, like, figures it out and turns it off and then turns it back on again.
It's like Lucy's spaghetti. I don't understand it. I don't understand how it got to be this consistency, and I'm stuck.
It's bad because it's not something that you should blow up, so it's very difficult, to deal with.
That's a 9.
Okay, so with a 9, you cut the, like, power cables just, like, all over the ship. So it is not like you cut the cable to 3 or 4 different rooms. It's like you cut the cable to a quarter of the ship. Just all of a sudden went dark, because that was the best thing that you could find.
Rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
I like the idea that we could cut a cable that's powering a quarter of a city without being electrocuted.
Right.
Vika can. It's her superpower.
They have disconnect switches. You throw the disconnect and then you cut the wire.
Wait, then why do we need to cut the wire?
So it's not easily repairable.
So that way they can't just throw the disconnect back. Yeah.
So I think we're kind of on a timer now. I don't know exactly how much of the ship is not powered anymore, but let's cut those cameras and get a move on.
Does cutting the cameras do anything anymore, Cody?
It does. It does, because it will make it harder for them to get back on.
Okay. What am I adding to this?
I would say act under pressure.
It doesn't really matter. Okay, that's a 7.
Cool. All right. You're able to do it. I have the downsides of the mixed successes of both of those things in my head, so we are good to go. What do you do now?
Do we still want to throw out some smoke bombs as a distraction, or let's just book it?
I think we should just book it and undercover, because they're, like, looking for smoke bombs. Though if Jyla wants to crawl, like, 3 rooms over and throw a smoke bomb and then crawl back.
I think we got to get Jyla to the med bay just like you.
Yeah.
Hand Malcolm a smoke bomb, have him crawl 3 bases over and chuck it.
Everybody do some blast some baddies. Not blast some baddies. Oh my gosh, act under pressure. I don't expect you to pop up and start shooting.
We're trying to avoid the blast of baddies.
Pew, pew!
Yeah.
I got an 8.
I got a 10.
Also an 8.
I got a 9.
Again, have the downsides of those. All of you pop up and start dodging to cover and like crates and stuff as you see a few different patrols wandering past, and you are able to make it back to your ship. What's everybody doing?
Heading to the med bay.
I shoot Jyla up with lots of drugs immediately.
Okay, make me some medbay rolls. You know how this works.
That's an 11.
Thank goodness.
All right, so I believe, what's the rule for that? Is that bandage is always marked, but you heal 2? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think she heals 2, bandage 1.
Okay. Boop, boop. Bandage 1.
If someone wants to double check that, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but...
No, that's right.
I'm just gonna say that's what it is.
That is correct, yeah.
Alright, does someone want to roll for me?
I can roll for you if Jyla doesn't want to.
Yeah, you can go for it. I feel like I've done poorly previously.
Okay. 9, 10, 11.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
All right. Sully, you heal 2. You're bandaged 1.
Woo!
You can keep going if you want.
I mean, why not? Like, it doesn't... If Cody's saying we should keep going, I'm going to roll these dice again.
Right now, you are not hearing any, commotion outside the ship yet.
We have time.
Yeah.
That is a 6. So...
Okay, so that's 2 bandages, no healing, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And that was on Jyla.
Jyla, I'm sorry. I mean, I rolled decent until I had to -1 from it.
Why'd you -1 from it?
Bandage.
Oh!
I +2 -1, so I would have made it fine had the bandage not been there.
Yeah, I got a 9 for Sully. Would have been a 10 without that bandage. Darn you for reminding me.
So, bandage 1, heal 1. You guys want to keep going or you want to be done?
I mean, we could probably try to give Vika and Malcolm a little bandage as well.
Yeah, no reason not to.
So if you fail, you get 2 bandages and no healing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Not just a bandage and no healing.
Yep.
It's a hard fail.
I mean, okay, I could try. I'm the medic. Oh god, I'm sorry, Vika.
Is that a 6?
That's a 5.
Oh, okay, so 2 bandages, no healing.
Okay.
Malcolm gets a 10, though.
Cool, our least hurt person.
I'm sorry, my rolls have been, perfect successes or failures tonight.
It's alright, I had a chaos dog jump on me, so I'm sure that did something.
Okay, so all of you are in the med bay. You've managed to kind of patch yourselves back together as well as you can, and you have a brief, quiet moment. Is there anything that you want to do before more stuff starts kicking off here?
Is there a way for me to get a hold of one of those robot cameras without being seen?
Let me ask you this. Do you think you would have grabbed one and brought it with you?
Yes, because that was the original plan.
Then yeah, you have one. I'm fine with you having grabbed one of those and not making you scurry back under the floor and bring it with you.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna start working on it to send a virus/calling card to our mid-arc enemy.
Okay, so I want to be pretty specific with the intent here. So, as it stands right now, the Watcher has 2 versions, right? There's the cognitive Watcher and the real one.
Correct.
The real one is a robot that has to clomp around. The cognitive one can move very quickly.
Yes.
Do you want to hurt the real world robot, make it work worse? Well, basically you have 3 things you can do. You can summon it to a location by alerting it, basically. Being hey, come fight us, throw down the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
You can do damage to it, punch it, or you can make it work worse. But you can't do all 3. I would say, depending on how you roll with this, you could maybe do 2 of them, okay, or you could do 1 of them really well, but you can't do all 3, right?
My goal would be to, I think, and if y'all think we should do this differently, let me know. But I think my goal would be to summon and make it work worse.
Okay.
And making it work worse would be the summoning, right? Where it's hey, we're poking at you. And I would kind of assume, based on how we took out the cameras and everything, he could figure, even if it doesn't super work, he could figure out where we are. That makes sense?
Yeah. Do you want to do that now?
I am working on it. As soon as everybody is ready to go, then I'm good to roll.
Yeah, roll with smarts.
So if anyone has anything else they want to do, let us know before I tell you what I got.
Oh, no, you can tell me what you got, and it'll basically be how good is the virus, and then you can hit send whenever you want.
Well, that is a 13.
Nice.
All right, it's very good. Whenever you're ready to hit send, let me know.
I think when she hits send, I think we should try to convince the people in the cargo bay to join our side.
That's a good use of your time.
Do we have to let them know that we're there?
I don't know if they do, but that adds more to a speech that we could say. You know, do you want to be controlled by this thing? It can't control us. Why would you want to be controlled by it? We're just lowly outlaws and we escaped it. Do you want this corrupting your minds?
Go forth, Sully.
You guys should give me camaraderie is what you should do for that, because I have a -1 for all charm rolls. And I understand that's the thing.
Or how about, do you want Mal to do it and Sully to help him?
I mean, that's fine. I'm fine with doing that. Narratively, it makes sense for Sully to do it, but I'm fine with gaming the game.
Well, you can also rely on your friends. The power of friendship.
Friendship is not spagic.
It's magic.
I won't.
So how do you want that to look? Do you want to just, like, walk out of the ship and be like, lend me your ears, or what?
How are you imagining this, Malcolm, since you're taking the lead?
I think Mal would lead the ship. He definitely still has his weapon, like, visible, but he's, like, poising it in a non-threatening way, right? He's not, like, aiming it at them. He's making sure it's, like... I want to say, like, I imagine he has, like, either some kind of backsling for his traction blade, and he, like, has it there. He doesn't, like, they can see that it's there, but he's, like, arms up, I'm not looking to fight kind of deal. So what's their reaction to that first?
So you walk out of your ship, and there's not, like, an immediate, like, attack, mostly because it's like the confidence kind of gets you so far where you're just, like, walking like you're supposed to be there. And it's like, eventually someone kind of does a double take and then just stares at you. And then probably like 8 people are all just kind of like looking confusedly at you because they don't know how you got here or why. And like, they're all kind of half-heartedly raising weapons and just kind of waiting because they expected to be attacked or to find you sneaking. They did not expect you to just be like, hi, you know?
Can I give him, like, help him by, like,
how?
Being behind him and, like...
I figure it'll be, like, our conversation. We'll do that narratively. You know what I mean?
Well, I meant, like, I should roll camaraderie first, though.
How are you helping?
Can I be behind him and be, like, intimidating with glowing eyes?
Sure. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm adding weird?
Based on what you said, yeah, we can say it's weird because you're trying to, like, play up the fact that you're Harmony, so I think that's cool.
As long as it's not charm, it doesn't matter, like, I'll be in the same range. Well, no, I got a 10! Yeah! Yay. I love my guiding presence. Woo!
Alright, so you have 1 camaraderie you can use now and 1 for later.
So, Mal, seeing the kind of 8 or so people kind of just watching, he's going to say, so, I know this is strange, this is a weird situation for all of us, but you know that, like, robot black tainted dude? Do they like acknowledge that they know what I'm talking about?
Not yet. They're all just kind of still, like, aiming and concerned, but not shooting.
So it's on its way here right now to kill us, and it is not going to hesitate to kill anything in its way. It is a force of evil in this galaxy and needs to be taken care of. We are going to fight it. I invite you to fight it with us.
So you said it's not going to hesitate to kill anything in its way, right? The nearest person to you says.
Yes.
And you're asking us to get in its way because it's evil, right?
I suppose so.
And you've blown up how many bombs on our ship so far today?
I do not know.
It's 2 so far.
That'd be me.
Why would we help you kill the murder robot after you've blown up our ship twice? Now roll grease the wheels.
That is just a 7.
Even with the +1 I gave you?
I mean, that could make it an 8, but...
Well, yeah, I guess it is an 8 then, and you have 1 camaraderie to spend later because of the way that roll worked.
That's true, yeah, that one has to be used now. So yeah, it's an 8 then.
Alright, well, what's your answer to that guy?
Yeah, we did set some bombs on the ship as we were trying to escape. We were captured by that thing, and we're trying to make our way out of here, and sometimes you gotta set distractions. But now we're taking a stand, and we're gonna fight it, and rid your ship of its influence.
The person that you were talking to kind of squints his eyes and just goes, I think it's time for a lunch break. And he looks around at the rest of the room and goes, it's time for a lunch break, right, everybody? We got overdue. We have a whole lot of reason to not be in this room, I think. So I think we all are just not in this room because we were all getting lunch and we never saw any of this. And it was a long lunch because we had a lot to talk about. And all the cameras are off in this part of the ship because I'm guessing all of you did that. So they'll have really no way of knowing when we decided to get lunch or if we talked to anyone on our way. And he lowers his rifle and the whole room just turns their backs and walks away.
Well, we didn't get them on our side, but at least they won't be additional enemies.
I mean, that is something.
All right. Are you guys just waiting?
Yeah.
I think, yes, but Vi's whatever cover we can, like, set up kind of away from the honor, she's gonna do.
Okay, I like that. So you want to set yourself up to where you have cover for when this thing comes in the door?
Yeah, and so, like, we're very obviously not by the ship.
Oh, okay. Do all of you want to not be by the ship?
Sully wants to be in the ship.
Oh, okay.
He's going into the cognitive realm, so he wants to be somewhere where his body is not exposed.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds good.
And Mal will barricade himself with Vi.
Okay, and then Jila's going into cognitive realm with Sully, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's a brief wait. Well, nothing is happening, and all of you are just kind of waiting to see what happens. And then a door on, like, the far end of the bay slides open, and two figures walk in. One is the Watcher, a robot torn apart and filled in with chaos muscle, and the other is... Yes?
I pressed go on the robot, didn't I?
Yes, I would assume at this point you did.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and the other is Captain Ivana. She looks around kind of confused. Do any of you pop out right away or anything at this point? Or do you just wait?
I think Sully is waiting for, like, shooting to do something so that he knows, like...
Before you drop into the cognitive realm? Yeah, that makes sense. Ivana walks forward, looking around, and just goes, "Whoever's on duty, show yourselves. This area is supposed to be patrolled. Hello?" And then you hear the Watcher say, "Captain Ivana, why is there no one present in this area? It was very clear that this area was meant to be guarded." "Can't say I know. I would assume that they all are on break. I don't see a problem with that. You know, us mortals have to eat." "That seems unacceptable. This will be recorded and transmitted back." "Well, I guess there's nothing I can do about that. But you said that you knew that they were here somewhere, so go find them, I guess."
Vi is going to signal to Mal that one of them needs to shoot the robot machine guy, and the other needs to shoot Captain Ivana, but with Captain Ivana, like, hit her foot.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, he gets the signal.
Is that what you guys want to do? Just pop up and start blasting?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, roll blast some baddies. Malcolm and Jila.
Nope.
Vika, sorry, gosh.
I'm aiming for robot.
Okay.
That's an 11.
And Mal, what did you roll?
So, seeing her take shot at the robot, Mal is going to aim at Captain Ivana, specifically trying not to, like, critically hurt her, and he got a 7.
Okay, with a 7, you shoot at Ivana, and she, like, gets hit, like, maybe it grazes her arm, and she throws her blaster aside and goes, "Ah, I'm hit! It's terrible!" And she falls on the ground and starts screaming.
Nice.
I love her.
She plays soccer.
At the sound of shooting, Sully's going to kiss Jila and then drop them both into the cognitive realm.
Okay. So, when Vika started shooting, the robot took the hits and was almost unfazed by them. And then it raised its arm to return fire. And you could see it as it did. It was like sparking and stuttering as it tried to get its gun leveled at the two of you and fire. And when it did, its arm jerked and it kind of like shook as it tried to blast at you. resulting in the beam that hits you not being quite so direct in fire, and you only take 2 damage, as it still beats you up pretty bad, but not as bad as it could have.
Only 2.
Only 2. Meanwhile, in the cognitive realm, Jyla and Sully, you pop in and see right in front of you a gigantic eyeball surrounded by an eyelid. As soon as it sees you, you can see the tendril starting to tear through its pupil as it again renews its assault against you. What do both of you do?
I think Joe's going to try to stab it with her vertical axe. Or chop it more.
I get you. We don't have, like, stab versus chop. It's not like Morrowind.
Yeah, you don't stab things with an axe, and I felt stupid saying it.
You could. It would just be kind of funny.
What am I adding to this in the cognitive? Am I adding weird to everything?
Gosh, do I feel like I change my mind on this frequently?
We always do weird in the cognitive realm.
It's always weird? Okay, yeah, weird.
Okay, that's a 7.
Okay, and Sully, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna like go in line with her and like because we've like done like practice stuff together.
Oh, okay, I like that.
So I'll cover her flank and stuff. That'll be a 13.
Dang.
About time.
I rolled a lot of those. I just also rolled a lot of fails.
As soon as you start closing in on it, the tentacles haven't fully ripped from the eye yet, but they're getting pretty close. As it begins its onslaught against you, Jyla, you are just kind of able to keep up and keep yourself from immediately getting knocked to the ground and drowned in tentacles. As you see it starting to attack, though, one, you can see it twitching as if it's getting hit by fire in the real world, as it's kind of getting thrown around, and also its movements seem less confident, and almost as if it is malfunctioning here as well. So the two of you are just kind of fending off tentacles and trying to close distance so you can stab it actually in the eye instead of just kind of hacking at these tendrils that are trying to keep you at bay. Sully, do you want to block damage for yourself, Jyla, or do extra damage?
Block damage for Jyla.
So you're able to keep the tentacles from immediately hitting Jyla as you keep this thing backed away. The result being that occasionally you're taking hits yourself, and you take 1 damage, but have also, like, hacked away at a lot of the tentacles that were originally attacking you. Alright, meanwhile, back in the real world, Malcolm and Vika, what are you doing?
When what are we going to call this? The robot machine version of him, when he was, like, sparking and raising his arm, could we see any weak points?
Ooh, I like that idea. Do you want to try to shoot a weak point to try to damage it even further?
I do.
I would say roll a blast some baddies still, but it will be with the specific intent of doing, like, extra status effect damage to, like, try to wound that, like, malfunctioning arm more.
Okay. Because when I shot at it before, it didn't actually do damage to it, correct?
Oh, no, it did, yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood. But I still want to do what I'm talked about.
Yeah, what I was indicating there was that it just was not immediately dying. It's, like, meant to take a decent amount of punishment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, that was unclear.
That's fine. No, I still want to try and wound it more, though.
Yep.
Y'all, it's good. That is a 16.
What?
Okay.
I think that's the highest roll in the campaign so far.
I think so.
How did you get a 16?
Yeah, I actually don't think you're wrong.
So I rolled a 12. I have +2 tough. My weapon gives me a +1, and I have a positive tag of accurate.
Dang.
I feel like we need to go over those. If this wasn't like the second to last arc, I think I may have allowed that to be slightly misspelled from my original intent. But it's okay.
Still though, +4 is amazing.
I shoot good.
So with a +4, wow, there's one roll where you fail. We should maybe talk about this after the game. That was a mistake on my part. Anyways,
we're at like the last couple arcs. I can't build it any higher.
That's true. That's true. I just This is the nature of homebrew. Sometimes things slip past my notice because I don't ask.
Once again, it took me to this point to get good at it.
I mean, that's true. That's fair. Anyways, you fire very concentratedly with a tool that is meant to take apart mechanical things. As it's firing back at you, you manage to like catch it in the joint and the arm just falls off. You're still clipped with a little bit of damage, but it no longer has its gun.
Nice.
And yeah, you took 1 damage for that. Okay, Malcolm, what do you do?
Pew, pew, pew.
Alright, with the intention of just doing damage?
Yeah. That is a 10.
Alright, are you just wanting to do extra damage?
Yep. I have plenty of hit points to sacrifice for this.
Gotcha. As soon as its arm falls off, it wastes no time. It doesn't so much run towards you as it launches itself. Like, it throws itself forward and might, like, touch the ground twice in its, like, attack on you as it forms up a, like, chaos sword arm and launches itself at you, Malcolm. So you're able to return fire against it as it's doing this, but then are knocked backwards off of your feet as you are able to quickly block its attack with your, gun blade. But you're now, like, immediately melee engaged with it. And you took 1 damage. Back in the cognitive realm.
How bad is it looking?
Worse, noticeably worse. The tentacles aren't reforming as quickly as they were before. There's, like, a pool of black around it. And, yeah, it's, like, kind of screeching and squealing at this point.
So, I have an idea, Jyla, if you can cover me.
All right.
So, what Sully wants to do is try to get close and, like, harmony taint it.
Okay, I like that.
You know, like how, like Chaos keeps, like, putting its seat... That sounds gross. Putting nuggets of itself...
Why don't we just say, and you want to try to purify it?
Well, yeah, it's that, but it's also, like, I want to, like, purify it in a way that it sends stuff back to, like, its home base and, like, starts hurting it there.
He's like blowing a dandelion.
Are you trying to roll to win the game? Is that what's going to happen here? You can do it. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to roll to win the game. I'm trying to, like, send a message to Chaos.
No, I get you.
And that's plus weird. Okay, that's a 7.
Wow, that is not nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. Jyla, make your roll. Are you just going to try to defend him from tentacruels?
I mean, if you're camaradaring me, if you roll well enough on that, I can make it into a 10.
This is not going to be a camaraderie roll, unless she wants to take a lot of damage.
That's an 8.
Okay, do you want to do no damage, or do you want to block damage from hitting Sully?
You can either defend me or do damage, or defend yourself, I guess.
Yeah, or that.
I'm going to defend Sully.
Okay. You take 2 damage. As half with your body and half with your sword, you are able to deflect a lot of the incoming attacks coming against Sully, but Sully then is able to get close enough to actually touch the carcass of the eye, the body of it, what's around your pupil?
We need better terms.
The whites? What are these called? Anyways, doesn't matter.
Starts with a V, right?
Anyways, you touch it. Your hands sink into it, and you feel like a sickening pull as this thing starts trying to absorb you. But you're able to will some, harmony energy into it. And now here's where you get to make a pretty tough choice. Do you want to lean into that thing absorbing you, or do you want to try to, keep your hands on the surface and keep willing harmony into it that way?
I can still keep putting harmony into it if I'm absorbed by it, though, right?
Yep.
I think I'm going to be absorbed.
All right.
Everything knows it's easy.
God hates a coward. Let's do it.
Everyone knows that it's easier to kill a monster from the inside.
Instead of trying to pull yourself out, you're just like, okay. And you basically just jump fully into this eye. And you are immediately engulfed by a horrible, sickening feeling. You can feel the malice from this thing. Usually with creatures like this, there is a core of them that is something besides chaos, right? This is usually a person that has been corrupted. In this case, there is none of that, living core that is something apart from chaos. It is literally just a puppet of chaos and nothing else. But you can feel it beginning to be unmade by your influence.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be scary, but like it just being pure chaos is just like, it's just like, all right. You know, like it's just like terrible all the way down, so there's no there's no
there isn't like a struggle or like a horrifying like person that's being unmade by this. Yeah,
right. It's not like the dragon thing we thought was like chaos is good. It's just like this is just gross all the way down, so it's like cool, getting rid of this is not bad.
Yep. All right, real world. The robot that was originally fighting with Malcolm, you can see yellow light starting to burn from its eyes as a high-pitched, like, robotic squeal starts coming from the robot. Its movements become far more frantic and aggressive, but a lot less thought out. It's just kind of stabbing randomly and twitchily. What do both of you do?
I mean, I'm going to keep shooting at it.
That's fine.
Also, I looked up eye anatomy if you need words for...
What's the whites of an eye called?
The whites of an eye is the sclera. You could also call it the lens of the eye. There's the iris, the pupil.
I've never heard the term sclera, ever.
Well, you got sucked into the sclera. Anyway.
Sclera.
That. You got slurped into that. All right, how'd that shooting go?
Okay. 10.
Extra damage or avoid damage?
How am I doing?
Not great.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with avoid damage right now.
Okay. So, you aim carefully and kind of like take a knee and start firing at this robot that is beginning to come apart. It turns towards you and starts making halted steps towards you, but you're able to kind of back up and keep out of its way as you just continue firing on it. You can see like servos beginning to halt working as it's like dragging a leg now, but it is also not done yet, and you're having to keep on your toes to keep from getting stabbed by this like kind of beginning to melt like a ice cream cone, but still lethal sword. Malcolm. This thing's no longer on top of you, stabbing you. What do you do?
Also, it's sclera. I just looked up a pronunciation.
I'm gonna shoot it again. That is a 7.
Okay. You, as soon as this thing gets off of you, you start firing on it again, like you're able to stand up and shoot, and it immediately whips around faster than you feel like it should be able to based on its mangled leg and slashes at you. Your coat turns some of the damage, but not all of it, as you are slightly wounded by this thing. Alright, Jyla, back in the cognitive realm, you see Sully disappear into this eye that starts to glow faintly gold yellow. What do you do?
Did it look like willing that Sully was going in there? Like,
you can chop at it.
I'm gonna try to,
I guess,
you know, as willing as it can look that someone gets absorbed by a terrifying monster, it's not a good look no matter what. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess.
Jack Sparrow looked pretty cool in Pirates of the Caribbean too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's got that vibe to it. Like, it's got Drax getting swallowed by the monster, Johnny Depp jumping into the Kraken's mouth. It's like, oh, okay. Like, maybe it's on purpose, but even if it is, it doesn't feel like a good idea.
Okay. Can I... Does it still have tentacles?
That's what it's attacking you with, yeah. Far fewer of them than there were originally.
Okay, I'll chop at those to kind of like limit its damage output, I guess.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Okay. So, you're not doing great in this fight. Currently, you know, usually you were used to having someone kind of with you at your side with this, but now you are alone trying to fend off.
I'm alone in a room with this giant eyeball.
Yeah. And it sure looks wounded and you can hear it shrieking, but that does not mean it is no longer attacking you. You take 2 damage as this thing continues to attack and like beat at you. You're trying to like fend it off as well as you can, but it's keeping you at bay fairly well. The sound that it's making is getting worse, but it is not dead yet. Malcolm, you are inside of this thing. What do you want to do?
You mean Sully?
I mean Sully, you're inside of this thing. What do you want to do?
I want to, like, still try to do the thing I was doing before, but I think Sully's, like, holding back less and less.
Okay.
Hopefully. Hell yeah, he's holding back less. That'll be a 15.
Okay, I like this. So, you feel this thing burn away, right? Like, you can tell that the Watcher is falling to pieces. You can almost see in the real world the linkages between the mechanical parts evaporating and the thing collapsing. But then, as I said, this thing was like on a tether, right? It was like, and that tether was flying way off into space, right?
Mm-hmm.
As this eye shrinks and collapses and dies, that tether begins to retract. And in your mind's eye, you can see where it goes, right? And you see both two things. You see the cognitive version of this, where you see a central hub of a ton of these tendrils flying off into space and innumerable eyes, right? That are all over the place. And then in the real world, you see a flash of Avis, and you see a factory that was built over a huge section of the capital city. You can see like this just flat, square, black building that was just built on top of a huge amount of Interstellar Council culture that has all been leveled to make way for this one building whose sole purpose is to build robots. And you wake up back in the hangar bay, severely wounded, bleeding from everywhere, with an image of home in your mind. We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for this show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and in the public domain. If you like this show, you can check out more of our actual play podcasts at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or on Podbean. You can also interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Play videos under our YouTube channel, the Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at wandering_gamers. Now remember, it's not the outlaws that make trouble, it's trouble that makes the outlaws.